Well, my Carolina Panthers are back to peak season form and as shitty as ever, losing a very ugly, prolonged game to the Jacksonville Jaguars, 26-10. And in this video, I'm going to do as I do after each and every game and provide you all with a few awards for some performances that I saw put forth out there on the field for my Carolina Panthers. And we're going to get into all of that right after this.
I'm from the foe. You dig?
Welcome to The Way I See It with Jamario Rashad. This is a Carolina Panthers fan channel. Please do me a favor by hitting the like button and please make sure you subscribe as I am on my road to 3K, trying to make sure my channel continues to grow. Now that that's out of the way, let's go ahead and get to this bullshit that I indeed hopped in my car and drove for nearly 12 hours over the course of the past 2 days to go down there and see the Carolina Panthers get their asses whooped. This is what I saw live and direct, sitting in the lower bowl right next to the field, right behind my Carolina Panthers. I saw a man, the man with the main headset, the man who was connected into everybody else, being completely ass. And who am I talking about? I'm talking about this motherfucker on your screen, Dave Canales. Pretty Ricky, you should have stayed your ass in the locker room. Now, as a man, I looked at this situation and I said, goddamn. I know that hit you in the pride. I know that's hitting you in the stomach. What am I talking about? What you talking about, Jamario? Well, Dave Canales was hired to us from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as their OC. So you know when somebody gets hired or to another job, they have to replace them. Liam Cohen, head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars this current season, actually replaced Dave Canales, came in and ran a better offense, a more effective offense with the same players, taking his offense to newer heights, getting his quarterback to the Pro Bowl, and getting him more essential praise than he's ever had. And he came into a game as a first-time head coach and completely dominated Dave Canales' ass. Dave Canales' replacement in Tampa Bay got a new job, came in here, and in his first damn game, outcoached him, swept him under the rug, and completely embarrassed this guy. You should be ashamed of your goddamn self, Dave Canales. I do not understand how you can continue to be a team or continue to be a coach of a team for 2 consecutive off seasons, have 2 consecutive training camps, and your team continues to come in looking unprepared, uninterested, disinterested, and just unable to be able to keep up with the modern offenses and defenses in the league. Your team just looks what the fuck are y'all doing at training camp? He comes in, there's no creativity when it comes to play calling. If you're going to be the head coach and you're also going to be the play caller, your ass better be as good as Sean McVay. Your ass better be as good as somebody like a Andy Reid. Somebody that is a absolute fool on the X's and O's. And that is clearly not who the hell Dave Canales is. He has no creativity whatsoever. His decision making continues to be the most head scratching shit I have ever seen in my life. What am I talking about? I am talking about all of these opportunities where we have done the thing that he says that we are going to do. That is be stubborn about the run to the tune of over 4 yards per carry collectively from everybody that took a snap this entire game. Over 4 yards per carry. But when we use that effective run game to put ourselves in position of 3rd and 4th and short, preferably or most likely or mostly in this game, 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, why the hell are we lining up in empty and not just running the ball for a first down? You are leaving Bryce Young back there by himself, no protection, no running back to pick up a blitz if there is one sent back there. And you are just showing more and more that you truly are a dumbass little Pete Carroll disciple. We saw exactly that's the bullshit that he did that cost himself and plenty of other Hall of Famers an extra damn ring by not running the ball in an obvious running situation. And you truly want to be a damn Pete Carroll little minion, and I don't understand it. Why are we doing this? Run the damn ball on 4th and 1. Why are we going empty in the red zone on our final leg, our final opportunity to just keep a foot in the game, to not let it be completely out of hand? And you decide to go for it with still having the opportunity to pick up a 4th down and have 3 tries from inside of 10 yards. You say, nah, I am going to bomb it to the end zone on 4th and 1 because I only need one damn opportunity. That's fucking stupid, Canales. That's stupid, man. Why are we continuing to do this and doing that shit in the red zone, costing this team its last breath, its last opportunity at relevance within this game? It's absolutely unacceptable. And for that reason, Dave Canales, you should have stayed your ass in the locker room, sir. Congratulations. You ass. Fucking terrible, my boy. Just terrible. Just damn terrible. But Dave Canales can only do so many things. He sits on the sideline with the headphones on and the clipboard, and he walks up the sideline clapping. Just a clapper, just clap. Let's go, guys. Let's do it better next time. Do better next time. Sits there with the energy and the demeanor of a damn middle school girls soccer coach, just saying, we're small, but we're mighty. We're gonna keep. Shut the fuck up, Dave. And somebody that he continues to hype up to us as somebody that is gonna be a essential part of this offense. But when anybody with eyes that pays attention to the Carolina Panthers can see that is not going to be the case. So the second person that should have stayed they ass in the locker room is Anthony Leggett. We are no longer going to call you by a cool nickname. You have not earned that. Your mama named your ass Anthony. I'ma call your ass Anthony. Anthony, 3 catches for 10 yards. That's 1 first down over the course of 4 quarters. The 2 wide receivers picked immediately after. I'm not talking about in the same round. I'm talking about with the next 2 picks selected after Xavier Leggett. The first and second picks in the second round of last year's draft both had incredible games to start off the season, showing that they actually have developed going into their second season, showing that they actually did do something aside from parade around over the offseason, being a video vixen and a goddamn laughing stock or a sounding board for the NFL at the goddamn Kentucky Derby just because people like the way that your country ass talk. You should have had your ass in the lab learning how to do some toe drag swag, learning how to actually be explosive, learning how to actually be physical with all of that damn size that you are carrying around. It is unacceptable. People like to go, oh, he's big and he's fast, so he gonna be a big downfield threat. He gonna be like DK Metcalf. Oh, he went to South Carolina. He fast. He gonna be like Debo Samuel. That nigga ain't like neither one of those guys. He is not physical at the point of attack, and he is not quick down the field like DK Metcalf. He is not big, fast, and elusive and can get and turn the burners on like a Debo Samuel. He ain't nobody but Anthony Leggett. So for that reason, Anthony Leggett, you should have stayed your ass in the locker room, sir. Congratulations. Attaboy, Ant. Ant-Man. Attaboy, Ant. Let go, Ant. Attaboy, Ant. You'll get him next time, Ant. Come on, Ant. Catch the ball, Ant. It's the sideline, Ant. Drag the ball. Drag your foot, Ant. Trash ass, man. Do better, bro. Jalen Coker ain't even playing, and he is moving up the depth chart over your ass. Injured. That never just do something, Ant. And finally, the third and final, you should have stayed your ass in the locker room award goes back to the sidelines, because we are not even talking about simply a player. We are talking about a severe force of dark energy and evil that just resides on the sideline for the Carolina Panthers, just over there calling up these suspicious, these just terrible plays. Somebody that is just there to just bring darkness and just erase the sunshine from anything that could possibly be in the happiness of the world of the Carolina Panthers. Who am I talking about? I am talking about defensive coordinator Ejiro Evero and his little pet, Nick Scott. Why the fuck is 21 on the field? Ejiro Evero, you are a terrible excuse for a defensive coordinator. Get that 3-4 system, throw it in the trash can, and roll that shit down a hill into a fiery pit of fucking lava, because that shit never needs to see the light of day again. I am so sick and tired of your ass. And this is one of the most shameful things I have ever seen on a football field in my life. On the very first drive of this game, the very first drive of the season, for the very first time head coach of Liam Cohen calling the plays for his offense, we held them to fourth down on their side of the field in their territory, and they had so little respect for your fucking defense that they went for it on fourth down on the first drive of the season in negative territory because they knew it wasn't shit that you was gonna call up to stop them. They said, fuck you, you are terrible, and guess what? I agree. You ass, bro. Your system is ass. Everybody say, oh, Derek Brown ain't there. We get Derek Brown back. We ain't gonna give. Guess what? 200 yards rushing again for 7 straight games going back into last season. 9 straight games of at least 150 yards. And if we're just keeping it at that 100-yard mark, God knows how many games we can go back. Ejiro Evero is just absolutely terrible. This offseason, we spent nearly $100 million trying to fix the D-line. We spent 2 top 3 picks, two top 3 picks on the defensive line to only put up a 14% pressure rate and never lay a single fucking finger, not a single fucking finger on Trevor Lawrence. 14% pressure, 0 sacks, and he wasn't even over there doing anything. If we were going against a decent quarterback, we would have got our asses chopped up so damn bad. But the Jags are just as bad as us, but their coaching is better. So that's why we get the short end of the damn stick. But you were just getting embarrassed by a first-time fucking head coach, and it makes no sense whatsoever. Your system is ass. Your players that you claim that you love, that you bring in, your Nick Scotts, your Christian Rosebooms, they're ass. They're la basura. They are completely fucking terrible. Your evaluation process is something that I have never been baffled with. I have never been more baffled by a man's decision-making process when it comes to who his personnel is going to be. First of all, we had Frankie Louvu elect to leave our fucking team for less money because he hated your fucking system so much to go on and become a pro and become an all-pro. We had Jeremy Chin, somebody that you said was only good enough to be a goddamn special teams player, thriving for other teams. 2 different teams now. He's been a starter on both those teams, and both those fucking teams are better than ours. So why the fuck should I have any confidence whatsoever? Or why should I have any understanding? Or why should I hear you out whatsoever when it comes to why you choose to put Nick Scott, a fucking journeyman special teams player, in at the fucking starting safety position when he was already played off the field last season by Damani Richardson, a undrafted free agent who was clearly in every way, shape, and form better than Nick fucking Scott. He was better in the run game. He was better when it came to coverage. But for some reason, you cannot get your ego out of your fucking face and just face the facts of these guys that you coached previously were ass, bro. They're not good anymore. Just because they played for you at a different spot, that does not mean shit. We saw how it worked out with Deshaun whatever from the Broncos last season. We saw how it's working out with Nick Scott. All of that shit is complete bullshit. And for that reason, DC, Ejiro Evero, the motherfucker that can't even get pressure on the quarterback in this dumbass system when he sends a blitz, you and Nick Scott should have stayed your asses in the locker room, sir. Congratulations. Ooh, my God, man. I swear, man. I can't take it. Oh, I can't take it. He's ass, y'all. He's ass. But now that we've gotten out of the overall just terrible portion of the game, the you should have stayed your ass in the locker room portion. I'm not gonna sit here and sugarcoat shit and try to look for all of the rays of sunlight in the darkness. I'm not looking for all of that. This game was ass, and there were plenty of people that were ass. Now, although these next few people may not have been so much of a contributor to the assness as the three that I mentioned before, they are at least deserving of an assable mention because they were quite ass. They did not play honorably. This is not an honorable mention. This is an assable mention, and we are going to first start with none other, before we get there, none other than Trevin Wallace, second-year linebacker who continues to look nothing less than completely confused and out of place each and every week, looking at somebody that is just not gonna develop into a linebacker the likes of that we've had over the likes that we've had over the last 30 seasons, the Kuechly's, the Mills, the Davises, the Beesons, even the Shaq Thompsons. They were all better than this at this point in their career. Even TD coming off of injury, we could still see that Trevin Wallace looks like a completely just deer in headlights out there. Somebody that lost the green dot to Christian Roseboom, somebody, and I want to make clear, Trevin Wallace is a representative of the linebacking core or the interior linebacking core as a whole. Both he and Roseboom were complete ass, but as a homegrown talent, I was expecting more out of Trevin Wallace. But he was the reason that the Jacksonville Jaguars actually scored that first touchdown, doing absolutely nothing, not following the man through his zone, allowing the receiver to run right behind him, simply just pointing his finger, playing no defense whatsoever. He isn't a factor in the run game. He isn't somebody that gets home often on blitzes. He's somebody that's literally just out there, a body to add on to the pile whenever they're gang tackling. And for that reason, I need you to understand that you are being honorably mentioned this week, Trevin Wallace. Don't keep it up. Get the shit better. Now, moving on. Austin Corbett. In my 30 years on this planet, y'all, I have never in my life seen a more it stumps me. It's just stumping me. I've never seen a worse center performance than what we saw out of Austin Corbett. As I mentioned, I was live at this game. I drove my ass from here in Charlotte all the way down to Jacksonville, that 5.5 hours there and back, all of that time, over 11 hours on the road to go see the Panthers, and play after play after play after play after play, there was just errant snaps not being where they needed to be, being either over here where Bryce Young has to adjust and get it, or over here or too low or too high. There seemed to be little to no communication or cohesiveness whatsoever between Bryce Young and Austin Corbett. I understand that this is something that usually happens when you are in a loud environment, when there isn't a consistent cadence, or you cannot just, verbally be able to hike the ball. But I sat there for the entire game and watched as there was no silent count. I was in the building. It was not deafening in there. They could definitely still hear on the field, but for some strange reason, before the ball was hiked, every single play, we would have Damian Lewis look up, like he would stand up, look back at Bryce, confirm that Bryce was ready, tap Austin on the leg, and Austin would immediately snap the ball. Throughout the game, you saw the interior starting to get dominated a little bit more and more. And I believe the reason for that is because they had a telltale sign of when they were going to snap the ball each and every play, and they were beginning to get a jump on it. And we saw Austin Corbett just progressively get worse and worse throughout the game. We had Cade Mays come in, somebody that we had cut, practice squatted, brought back, all of those things, be a much more consistent player for the vast majority of the season last year, and we did not have any of these problems that we saw with Cade Mays. Those errant snaps were losing Bryce Young about between a half a second to, in certain situations, a complete second off of the play. So if we're going to play in a rhythm type offense, as most teams like to do, 2.7 seconds or less, if you are making mistakes at the snap of the ball, that is potentially losing you a half a second to like that completely throws your offense out of whack and out of rhythm. And that started with Austin Corbett. So I don't understand what was going on, but one thing I do know is that he was very, very ass, and that's why you are getting honorably mentioned or assably mentioned in this video. Austin, get your shit together, my boy. Don't really know what was going on with you there. But the next player I would like to mention is none other than Pat Jones, a rotational pass rusher who played less than 50% of the snaps for the Minnesota Vikings before coming to the Carolina Panthers, was given $15 million to come here and for some reason start over two young pass rushers that you drafted on day 2 in the second and third round, and only go out there and be able to be a hustle guy with absolutely no pass rush repertoire whatsoever. He didn't have a spin, he didn't have a bull, he didn't have speed. I'm just gonna try to push you, and if I can just get a thing on him, he had nothing, my boy. He had abso-fucking-lutely nothing. And this is just another example of Ejiro Evero, for some strange reason, choosing these odd, non-talented motherfuckers over the people that clearly deserve the snaps for no reason under the sun. And I repeat, there is no reason under the sun that Princely Uman played less than 10 fucking snaps in this game, and we were producing no pass rush whatsoever from the left or the right, neither from Wanham nor from Pat Jones. The best defensive player we had in this game, without a doubt, was Turk Wharton. But the guys that were responsible for actually getting to the quarterback did absolutely nothing. So you are going to be assably honored this week, because you are a representative of not only yourself, similar to Trevin Wallace being a representative of himself and Roseboom, Pat Jones is a representative of himself and DJ Wanham. Our outside linebacking edge rushers were completely ass, and y'all need to get better. You shitty. So this next one, it really hurts for me to say, because I didn't expect to have to go here, and I'm the reason I'm not gonna go that hard. I have to give it to him is because there were expectations for this guy before the game started. Although he was just not out there a complete liability, he was not completely played out of the game. We expected for Derek Brown's mere presence on the field to be enough to change the fortunes of this defense, specifically this run defense, over from what we saw back in 2024. But in this first game, that was absolutely not the case whatsoever. Derek Brown was almost a virtual non-factor when it came to stopping the run. I was expecting to see several stuffs, several tackles for loss. Derek Brown just being an absolute menace, as we've known and grown to know him to be. But in this first game off that meniscus tear, he just seemed to be a regular person. Now, Derek Brown is supposed to be our best defensive player. I believe he probably still is. But in this game, Turk Wharton completely outplayed him, out-hustled him, outproduced him, and everything in between. So I'm going to need to see a little bit more out of Derek Brown, our $100 million man, our top player on the team, honestly. So for this week, unfortunately, Derek Brown, you are being assably mentioned. Please get it together, ice your knees, find out what's going on, go out there and do something better, because we definitely need you, my guy. And finally, I know y'all wanted me to talk about this guy the whole time. Very divisive. I've seen the conversations. I've seen the tweets. I've got the mentions. I've seen everything. I personally believe that Bryce Young is deserving of being assably mentioned, like of being an assable. of being acidly mentioned this week, man. I'm still working on that, y'all. I'm trying to figure out how to say it smooth. But Bryce, if not anything, it is fair to say Bryce is just hands down inconsistent. He hasn't really shown any ability to put forth the same level of play week to week on any consistent basis whatsoever. Generally speaking, he does make the right decision in most situations, but he is good for at least 2 to 3 head scratching, boneheaded ass plays each and every game, and it's honestly just I don't get it, man. Staring Xavier Legette down when he threw that excuse me, when he threw that first interception in the building, it already looked bad. But when I got home, I looked at the highlights, I looked at the tape. I'm like, man, he literally locked in on him from the moment that he got out of that play action. It was just like, I'm already going here. I've already decided. But then on top of that, the idea that how the fuck does the ground force a fumble on you? Like, seriously, Bryce, just fucking slide, my boy. Just go down to the ground. Live to throw the ball for another down. The reason that you did not have to stay your ass in the locker room is because I believe that your wide receivers and mainly your head coach hung you out to dry and left hundreds, potentially at least 200 yards on the field because of either drops or bad play calling or just bad play execution. But when it comes to what you were completely responsible for, you made some shitty decisions as well. I understand that you fumbled when you ran the ball earlier in the game. But when you have the clear opportunity to scramble and pick up a first down, which will provide your team with 3 opportunities at the end zone from within 10 yards, under no circumstance should you panic, throw the damn ball to the back pylon, and come off the field pouting like a little child when you could have just ran the damn ball and picked it up yourself. I don't give a damn what the play call called for. I don't give a damn what you were supposed to do. You are the star quarterback. You are the trigger man. You are the one that makes these decisions. And in that situation, you chose to be timid and scared instead of going out there and showing us what you got. And for that reason, you are going to have to be acidly mentioned, Bryce Young, getting better, because next time your ass should have stayed in the damn locker room. But finally, we have one final player that I want to discuss. It is somebody that actually had a good game. It was not all, rain clouds and thunderstorms, and everything wasn't just terrible out there on the field. We actually did have a player that had a relatively good game, and for it to be his very first time lacing up his cleats and going out there on an NFL field, all signs are showing that this is going to be a very impactful player, as he already was in this first game. And I am talking about none other than Tetaroa T-Mac McMillan winning his very first Baller Award, man. T-Mac had 5 catches for 68 yards out there in his first opportunity to lace up the cleats, showing that he is every bit deserving of that top 10 draft capital that we spent to bring him here to the Carolina Panthers. He had an opportunity to catch a touchdown, but unfortunately it was a little bit overthrown. Although he is able to make these one-handed spectacular catches, in the heat of the moment he wasn't able to bring that one in. But although he did have mishaps throughout the game and potentially ran the wrong route on a potential touchdown, there were times that he was absolutely just dominant, lining up against Travis Hunter, absolutely completely just killing him off the line. There was no chance there, and actually extending his hands out on deep balls and actually coming back to the ball when he's catching it on the sideline. He showed that he actually understands what's going on. He has a grasp of the offense, and once all of this repetition steps in, he is going to be an absolute beast. So for that reason, winning the very first and only Baller Award, Tetaroa McMillan. Shout out to T-Mac. Shout out to T-Mac. Shout out. Mac, man. But those are my awards for this week, man. The Carolina Panthers were absolutely terrible. They needed to get their asses spanked. I wish I could take my belt off and put it to their asses because they needed. Hopefully that will give them some type of motivation. But what do you all think about this week's award show? Who do you all think possibly deserved an award? Should I have singled out more people? Was I too hard on somebody? Whatever you all think, leave your comments down in the comment section, and I'll be sure to get back to you then. But until next time, I am Jamario Rashad. This is the way I see it, and I'm out. Peace.